Welcome to the beloved community known as UU Amherst. I'm Joe Rautenstrauch, a member of the worship design team. This morning, we are glad to have frequent guest speaker John Snodgrass here to share his thoughts with us as our minister, Reverend Michelle Buhide, is out of the pulpit. In addition to teaching religious studies at Canisius College, John is an author and playwright with one of his plays, Rust and Redemption, currently playing in production locally.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
So the doctor said, I've got good news and I've got bad news. What's the bad news? Well, the bad news is I'm afraid we've amputated the wrong leg. Well, what's the good news? Well, the good news is the leg we meant to amputate is doing much better. Welcome. Welcome to this place which we make holy by our presence. These doors are open to all. We welcome diverse ideas of the source of life, diverse needs, diverse abilities. Here you need not hide, nor pretend, nor be anything other than who you are and who you are called to be. Come into this place where the ordinary is sanctified, where the human is celebrated, where compassion is strength. Welcome to this place. Together, we make it a holy place.
We're also pleased to welcome in service pianist James Runforlow. James is a junior at Lockport High School. He will be participating as a service pianist once a month. We are glad to have him share his music with us. And now let us do what we do best in this congregation and welcome one another, newcomers and long-timers. Let the welcoming begin. Our opening words this morning come from the poet Nancy Wood. My help is in the mountain, where I take myself to heal the earthly wounds that people give to me. I find a rock with sun on it and a stream where the water runs gentle, and the trees which one by one give me company. So I just stay for a long time until I have grown from the rock. And the stream is running through me, and I cannot tell myself from one tall tree. Then I know that nothing touches me, nor makes me run away. My help is in the mountain that I take away with me. Julie Marcus will assist with the lighting of our chalice. It is our custom when we gather to light a flaming chalice. This chalice is a cup, a vessel that symbolizes the gathered community. The flame represents the spark that each one of us brings to represent the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment to bring more compassion and justice to the world. Please join me in speaking our chalice lighting words. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together. Each week as we light the chalice to symbolize the gathered community, we also acknowledge that our church is built on holy ground that was first cultivated and occupied by the Haudenosaunee and those known as the Neutrals. We honor them as the original keepers of the land. We offer this libation as our giveaway, a symbol of our respect and a deep connection with the land.
We have gathered side by side, circle of kinship, come and step inside. May all who dwell seek here find a kindly word. May all who speak here feel they have been heard. Sing now together this our heart's own song. Here we have gathered all to celebrate days of our lifetime, matter small and great. We hold all ages, women, children, men, infants and sages, sharing what we can. Sing now together this our heart's own song. Life has its battles, sorrows, and regret. But in the shadows, let us not forget. We who now gather know each other's pain. Kindness can heal us as we give, we gain. Sing now in friendship this our heart's own song. Thank you. Be seated.
We are a beloved community, a gathering of people who have chosen to journey together to encourage one another and to be part of something important. important and life-changing. Because we aspire to be such people, we make bold promises about how we will be with one another. Whether today is your first time or you've made UU Amherst your longtime home, you are invited to share in our sacred promise. Together, we promise to gather in compassionate community, to celebrate diversity of thought and unity of spirit, and to seek wholeness for ourselves, our children, and our world. I believe we come to church to connect, to find our center, to be reminded that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, and that we are held in a love that defies our understanding. And so we bear witness to one another's joy and pain. We make room in the circle and in our hearts for all that we bring. You'll note that the table where we acknowledge our joy and pain is round. It's a gathering place. Even as you bring your individual hopes and cares, a smile, even an encouraging touch, we can let go of neat lines and embrace the messiness of community. Come forward and place your stone in the company of others.
May the beauty before me open my eyes to see. May the beauty above and below me set my soul free. May the beauty inside me wake me up to feel. The beauty between you and me is real. And may I be complete within my open circle. May I be willing to see some hope in a broken world. May I be like this tree, standing in the center of my circle. I am solid on the ground, and I know I'm not alone. May the beauty before me open my eyes to see. May the beauty above and below me set my soul free. May the beauty inside me wake me up to feel. The beauty between you and me is real. May I be complete within my open circle. May I be willing to see some hope in a broken world. May I be like this tree, standing in the center of my circle. I am solid on the ground.
Let's share a few breaths as we expand our circle to include those who may not be present, but whom we carry in our hearts. Those who are ill, those who are in pain, either in body or in spirit, those who are lonely, those who have been wronged. We are a part of a web of life that makes us one with all humanity, one with all the universe. We are grateful for the miracle of consciousness that we share, the consciousness that gives us the power to remember, to love, and to care. May it ever be so in our lives. Amen and blessed be. Our time for all ages today is a video reading of Clara M. Curtis and Cynthia Aldrich's book, All I See Is Part of Me. It's my hope that this lovely story of interconnectedness, affirming our seventh principle, begins the conversation that our speaker, John, will pick up in his reflection.
All I see is part of me. Written by Chara M. Curtis, illustrated by Cynthia Aldrich. I am part of all I see, and all I see is part of me. I am my hands, I am my feet, I am the puppy across the street. I am the moon, I am the stars. I'm even found in candy bars. I used to think that I was small, a little body, that was all. But then one day I asked the sun, "Who are you?" He beamed, "We are one." But Mr. Sun, how is this true? How can I be both me and you? He smiled. You might ask your sister Star. She too is part of who you are. And so I waited till the night, when darkness let me see her light. Sister Star, how can it be that I am you and you are me? She glowed. You're larger than you know. You are every place there is to go. You have a body, this is true, but look at what's inside of you. I closed my eyes to see within. I saw a light. It made me grin. It reminded me of Sister Star. She said, "That light is who you are. Your body is just a little part of the light that shines within your heart." In all the world, in all of space, your light shines bright. It's every place. And when you join it dot to dot, you'll see that you is what you've got. All the plants, the animals and trees are in your light, and you are these. Look inside each one you meet and see your light. It's so complete. Inside, outside, below, above, see your light and feel its love. You're asking you when you ask me, so you know everything, don't you see? I looked again at all my light and saw that Sister Star was right. For every question there could be, the answer is inside of me. All I ever had to do was ask the part of me that knew. What answers do you get when you look inside of you? Why do we sleep with our eyes closed? So we can see our dreams more clearly. Does it tickle Kitty when her motor runs? When her motor runs, she's already tickled. Do whales get sunburned if they lie on the beach too long? Does it hurt when a tree loses a leaf? No, the tree is changing his clothes. Can I slide down a rainbow? Yes, after you get to the top. Where does the man in the moon sleep? On the dark side of the moon. Who lives with Mr. Sun? Everything under the sun. And then I said, there's something more. Each question opens up a door, and every door that I walk through leads to a part of me that's new. Thank you so much, Sister Star. I love the part of me you are. I wondered as I climbed in bed, does all of me sleep when I rest my head? And then a voice, I guess was me, replied and spoke most lovingly. Even when you sleep, you are awake in every shining star. I snuggled with my teddy bear, and in his light I saw me there. You are me, and I am you. You love me, I love you too. I closed my eyes and found my light, dancing with moonbeams in the night. I said a prayer I knew was heard, 'cause all I am hears every word. And I can see in all of me that there can be no end.
Well, good morning. I'm one of those people, I listen to record albums, but my brothers signed me up for one of these music streaming services so I could stop, having to mess around with all of this stuff. And these services, they remember everything that you listen to. And it can make you face some hard truths about yourself. Because last December, the streaming service said, hey, do you want to know what your most played song of 2022 was? I said, I don't need you to tell me that. It told me anyway. It was Surrey with the Fringe on top. Because all year long, I had been listening to it, chicks and ducks and geese better scurry. Like, when I was sad, it made me smile. When I was happy, it made me dance. I'm going to do a dance solo right now. It made me dance. I dance like this. And so all year long, I was kind of bopping around with this song in my head. My wife would roll her eyes at me. My kids got so sick of it, they would say, Dad, turn that crap down. I would say, you just don't understand me. I put on my headphones, chicks and ducks and geese better scurry. I wouldn't say that this song would do for you what it did for me. And I should warn you, it's highly addictive. I wouldn't prescribe it to everyone here, but I would like to think that we all have songs like that. Songs that can speed us up or calm us down. Songs that can get us out of a destructive spiral and into a constructive mood. Songs that help us heal. Medicine. For many of us, this word conjures the image of an orange pill bottle we got from the people in the long white coats. We go to the pharmacy, we give them our secret code, our birthday, and then we prove that we're adults by engineering the bottle open, and the label contains some constellation of syllables, like abracadabra or acetaminophen. We have no idea what it means. But we are assured, imagine this, we are assured that the chemicals in the pills will enter our bodies, navigate their way to the part that hurts, and fix it. That's medicine. But when I study indigenous cultures, the word medicine means something else. Medicine can mean a walk in the woods, the wave of a feather, an embrace, a song, a dance. Now, we can consider these things medicinal, but you can't put it into a bottle. And then, of course, indigenous cultures have the plants, the root of this one, the leaf of that one, or a flower boiled in water. Some of these have been bottled and marketed as herbal medicines. Some of them have become our coffee, our tea, our soft drinks. Coca-Cola used to contain cocaine, but these days it's mostly made out of corn. And the medicines we take as pills, the miracle drugs, they don't come from fairy dust and rainbow beams and unicorn breath. They may seem magical, but they come from the earth. For centuries, chemists and then pharmaceutical company researchers have been following shamans and witch doctors around, carefully notating the roots, barks, blossoms, leaves, mosses, and mushrooms that they use to treat tribal communities. Shamanism. It seems like quaint magic, but let's remember this. Tribal peoples have the same size brain that we do. And if someone was really just guessing and making up mumbo-jumbo, vaguely saying it came from spirit hallucinations, if the stuff didn't work most of the time, these cultures would not have kept returning to their shamans for thousands of years. There was no certificate, no grand council that said, you have to keep believing this witch doctor, even if their last 9 house calls have all been scatterbrained jabberwocky. People only kept going to that healer because they were repeatedly successful. And if shamanistic medicine worked, it's because it was mostly a memorization of patterns, causalities. If this, then that. The accumulated medical and herbal knowledge of the tribe. We can forget this because tribal wisdom is in the public domain. No member has a monopoly on its use or a proprietary right to hold the knowledge hostage. Our pharmaceutical companies get rich by copywriting recipes and giving them Greek names. Greek is a language we can trust. It creates the illusion that white people in togas came up with the medicine and not some shirtless witch doctor in the outback. But many of these medicines did come from those shamans, those people that you wouldn't believe them if they said, rub this flour on it. But you take that flour, you grind it up, you put it into a little, like a poultice or a cream or a white pill, and we do it. And we say, yes, I believe this because the doctor told me so. Seneca activist John Mohawk said, to my knowledge, no one ever found a plant that had a medicinal use that the indigenous people of that area didn't know about. You could assume some of them spent thousands of years experimenting on it. What plant do you use? What part of the plant? When do you harvest it? How do you use it? Do you swallow it? Do you rub it on? What do you do with it? Maybe you just dance around it. Who knows? When we disregard the indigenous roots of our chemical medicines, we also lose the importance of the female healers. In Native American communities, a lot of medicine people were women who had passed their childbearing years. Not that they would go to night school to start a second career. People would just start showing up and saying, hey, you raised 6 kids, 5 survived. I bet you've seen every kind of sickness there is and remember what was done about it. In our culture, we may think of medicine as a primarily male practice. But we know from anthropology that this is only a very recent development. Thousands of years before X-rays, there were women and some men who could look at the outward signs of the body and envision what was going on inside. Long before the ultrasound, there were midwives whose hands on a belly could track the development and positioning of a fetus. There were people who knew the patterns. When you hear this particular bird song, it means that such and such berry is just about to start sprouting over that hill. Dry those out and they'll cure an upset stomach. The stuff that if we heard a Siberian shaman say it, we might say, that's so charming. But in Europe, they would say, that's a witch in league with Lucifer. But it's not dark magic. It's pattern recognition. I recently encountered a quote. Medicine has always been more an art than a science. I thought, wait a minute. I have a liberal arts degree, but having dissected a poem does not qualify me to cut someone open. But that quote has really stuck with me. Medicine has always been more an art than a science. Doctors are people too. I become more aware of this as I get older and doctors keep becoming younger. What's up with that? Plus, I'm married to a doctor who trains other doctors. I recently took my son to an appointment. The doctor said to him, well, you tried this, it didn't work. You want to try this? I said, whoa, he's 16 years old. Why are you asking for his advice? But our doctors know that there's no such thing as an exact science. That's why we have that most disturbing phrase in the medical profession, second opinion. Like, wait a minute. What about what the other doctor said? Is that an opinion too? Like, which one of these is fact? It's like the old joke where the patient says, doctor, I've been to see 3 other specialists, and not one agrees with your diagnosis or your course of treatment. And the doctor says, hey, listen to whoever you want, but the autopsy will prove me right. I know, I came across it. That was such a dark joke, but I really like it. In this last century, scientists have made remarkable progress in proving that emotion is biochemical, that laughter is a mechanical spasm, that tears are windshield fluid, that the so-called demons that possessed and plagued our ancestors were just toxic spills and faulty wiring. But then along comes the coronavirus. Our doctors scrambled to diagnose it, identify its molecular structure, and synthesize a vaccine. But in those 2 years, we also learned a valuable lesson that health is more than chemical. It's also interpersonal. There's more to humanity than can be dissected or atomized and inventoried in test tubes. Sitting down with another person in the room, that is medicinal, even if they don't say anything. I'm finally back in therapy for my anxiety and depression. The first thing I looked for in choosing a therapist was someone who was 1 mile away from my house, so that each appointment comes with 2 20-minute walks. I spend the walk there choosing a topic, carefully articulating it, mumbling it until I've got it precisely crystallized. And then I spend the walk back parsing through those elements that came out more clearly with the therapist's questions. Often I find that it's on the walks that I make the most progress. Sometimes the therapist doesn't even show up. He's a good guy, but a little bit flighty about announcing cancellations. But I can't complain because I accomplish a lot in 2 miles of walking. And sometimes I get home from a cancellation thinking, wow, that would have really been a waste of his time. This problem wasn't nearly as big as I imagined when I woke up this morning. And then there are those appointments that remind me how important it is to be in a safe space where I can speak openly, honestly, by which I mean whining and belly aching and saying, why me? Why me? And then when I've laid out this whole crisis, he'll often say, you know what you need? A good long walk in the sunshine. A walk in the sunshine, that's medicinal. Somehow, solar radiation produces a chemical reaction in human skin that makes vitamin D. Don't ask me how. Now, we can synthesize vitamin D. We can put it into a bottle. But we all know that there's more to a walk in the sunshine than just chemicals. It can also brighten our mood in ways that cannot be measured in a laboratory. Something else that you cannot synthesize in a lab and seal up in a bottle. The feeling of walking in here this morning. It's a warm, safe feeling. It's a feeling of sanctuary. You know, being greeted with smiles and handshakes. Not having to pretend to be more organized and competent than you are. Unless you're me. But I've got years of training in that. And you don't have to wonder if the smiles that you receive are a professional courtesy for a customer, a client, a patient. That feeling is medicinal. We keep coming back for more of that feeling. And here's something else. You receive that feeling, and you're also part of that for someone else. This congregation contains no inactive ingredients. We are part of that medicine, even the quiet ones. My wife says, the church coffee is just water with a little brown in it. She may be right. We can make better coffee at home. But I know this, you can't open a can and turn on a machine and make coffee hour. Thank you.
Stand. Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I make my way, still with hope I greet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
Please join me as we close this portion of our service with these words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Good morning. First of all, many thanks to everyone who made yesterday's Kentucky Derby party such a success. It was great fun. The Network of Religious Communities' 40th Annual Appreciation Dinner is coming up on June 1st. UU Amherst will be honoring our own Mickey Tannehill and Ron Palmieri. The dinner is at the M Hotel, formerly the Millennium, next to the Galleria Mall. If you'd like to attend, place a check for $60 made out to the Network of Religious Communities and put a Post-it on it with your name, your vegetarian or regular dinner choice, and place it in the orange plastic folder in the canvas mailbox in the hallway outside the living room. Any questions, you should contact Karen Thompson. There's been some confusion around use of the playground on the church property. The latest information is that children may access the playground on Sunday mornings with parental supervision. Parents must accompany children to the playground, and then thank you before leaving if you would rewind the swings around the poles and make sure the space is tidy for the daycare's use. General Assembly of the Unitarian Universalist Association is coming up in the third week of June. General Assembly, known as GA, is being held in Pittsburgh this year, an easy drive for the opportunity to gather with a few thousand of our religious siblings. Each congregation is able to send delegates to vote on matters of importance to the association, and our delegates this year are Marie Evans and Marlena Rice. We're grateful for their commitment to Unitarian Universalism and our congregation. Also, please mark your calendars for June 11th after the service. There will be a sign dedication for our new sign out front, as well as a picnic. Please plan to bring a salad or dessert to share. There'll be more details in the coming weeks. In general, see the church newsletter, the forward for information regarding upcoming services and events. Hard copies can be found in the lobby, and the digital version is available on our website, uuamherst.org. We would be remiss if we didn't invite you to participate in supporting the mission and ministry of UU Amherst with your financial gifts. You'll find a green basket at the back of the chapel today to receive your contributions, or you can give online by going to our website, uuamherst.org, or clicking on the giving link, or text your gift to the number on the screen. Your gifts and participation are important because we did not plant the trees that we pick fruit from, yet we drink water from wells we did not dig. And this is as it should be, so long as we dig and plant for those who come after us. Your generous giving supports the work of this congregation. As a trustee of the endowment here at the congregation, I'd like to assure you that you should know that your gifts, whether they're placed in the basket at the back of the church, or in the coffee basket when you reach for your mug, or you offer a gift to the endowment or in a legacy in your will, you will be helping us today and for all those who will be here in the future. Imagine that the money you put in the coffee basket isn't paying for the coffee today. That's already been purchased. But that money will buy the coffee for next week and many weeks after. As we dedicate the sign on June 11th, the endowment is pleased for past gifts that have enabled the trust to provide $25,000 toward the cost of the sign and for some emergency needed tree removal. Your generosity matters now and for many tomorrows. Thank you.
I want to thank you all for having me here today. I want to thank those of you who came to the Supernatural Shakespeare book signing a couple of weeks ago. If anyone missed it, I brought some copies today that are available during coffee hour. I really want to thank James for playing the piano today. You're just fantastic. If you see my name coming up again in the schedule, please start practicing the Surrey with the fringe on top. Together we have sanctified this space. If you have found strength and comfort here, share some out there. They need it. Remember that you are blessed and you are a blessing, and you are not alone.
Endlich ist die Welt uns entglitten und wir fahren in unserem Schlitten und wir fahren in unserem Schlitten durch ein Tal im Schnee. Träumerisches Schellengebimmel, weiße Träume fallen vom Himmel und es träumt sogar unser Schimmel, was ich gut verstehe. Die Tannenbäume, ja, die nicken uns zu, der Bach singt unter dem Eise. Ich schmieg mich an dich und ich fühle, dass du das Ziel bist am Ende der Reise. Weiße Flocken weben den Schleier, kalte Winde wehen vom Weiher, doch im Herzen brennt mir ein Feuer, weil ich dich nur seh in den Schlitten mit den Schellen und dem Tal, tief im Schnee. Du brauchst mich nicht lange zu bitten, denn wir fahren in unserem Schlitten, denn wir fahren in unserem Schlitten durch ein Tal im Schnee. Wenn die Winterwolken sich balten und es dunkel wird, ach dann halten wir beim Forsthaus an, bei dem Alten, und wir haben Tee. Die stille Stube, ja, die lächelt uns zu. Die alte Uhr schlägt leise. Ich schmieg mich an dich und ich fühle, dass du mein Ziel bist am Ende der Reise. Draußen steht im Schnee unser Schimmel, stumm ist nun das Schellengebimmel, und ich bin im 7. Himmel, weil ich dich nur seh. Lass den Schlitten mit den Schellen und das Tal tief im Schnee.